is always a happy feeling to come back. Of course, today was being in a Bangalore, it's raining, so you can say sudden rain. It's made it me to rush fast and come back. So this is the another thing I was just thinking when I was planning to project. Most of the time we know our prediction ki okay what will happen because we got used to. So I normally takes a session always in a morning 11 o'clock, and this is the one of the time where I have taken session at 5. So our planning sometimes doesn't work. Today is one of the typical day, even though I was able to come on time, but I was like a praying that okay, the traffic should be less because it is showing more. So how you think when it is a maybe 10 minutes travel time, I was trying to say I should be on time or not, and how the circumstances is going to change. It can be rain, it can be traffic. So same thing happened on when we are thinking about the higher education. So I was speaking yesterday to one of my very good friend, and of course it's I always tell people that all the good friends are our customers and customers are good friends. So she was telling my son is doing very good and he wants to do the what you call in music and in Berkeley, and which is going to cost me around 2.5 crore. So even though I don't know much on music, but I said, okay, fine, that's a good news. So at least you are sorted that what he likes to do and what he wants to do. But how we can plan and make sure that we give that much to our kids, their whatever aspiration is. If they are able to get admissions and other things, we should be as a parent able to give financial support part of it. So today topic is only on that. Coincidentally, good, bad, ugly, it was quite a live example for me also, as our daughter finished a master's last this year in July, and she started working. So how it is easier for us and to make sure that okay, we were able to send abroad when we required, because every university have a different ways how much it costs. But I can tell you on an average, if you're going in undergrad or what we call after 12th year graduation, it cost around 2 to 2.5 crores in INR, and for a master it may be anything between 50 lakhs to 1 crore. So it may be fees or other things we have to plan. And children are always our future. So how we see ourselves and how we plan them. So these are the few things which people wish to have are typically before that, okay, I'll become the pilot or engineer or a doctor or teaching, or what are the different, though before this I had a one more meeting on the morning, and this is the good point is nowadays kids have so many variety of work. So as per their skill, they can be a good bloggers, they can be good influencer, they can be a good, you can think of a lot of time people are doing a consulting, they are taking not many things which we never thought they will be able to do, and music is one of them. So one of the topic today was we were talking is music nowadays is not only for a skill, even the economy. I was trying to see and doing a research after they told me, and my daughter also, she follows Taylor Swift, and when she do the any of the concert, the how everything goes, it maybe the economy of that country also grows little bit. It, you can think of all the hotel management, hotel rooms, your banks, your travel, the flight, and of course tickets, everything is going across, and how we are giving our next future and the economy itself how to grow. So agenda is overall child education is one part of it, but overall is mostly we talk about financial planning where we take care of a child education. It can be graduation, it can be master, it can be in India, it can be abroad. It's not that key nowadays Indian colleges are cheap. It's much costly. We have to take care of inflation, how to make sure that we try to do, because recently again I'm just talking about the person who have a very good friend customer again gone as of today. She is in a UK for music on a Berkeley, and she was telling like a UK visa is like most of the visas normally they will ask financial assets or they will ask the average money on a 1 month in a bank. They were the one person who says that we need a 6 months average in a saving bank account for a 1 year expense of the kids. which is very, very tough. And the person of like one of the whom we know got the admission, but nobody keeps such a high. Even I don't think so. I will be having a so much SB account average keeping 50, 60 lakhs. So those are the points which I am going to have it and today try to see from whom we know what we know, and happy to have a more questions. So let us always thought is not to reinvent the wheel. I always says let us learn from others and give the wings to the kid. So let them fly. So teach your children about investing. That's the one thing I always talk about, how we can try to say that the kids start first learning on the kids education, and then slowly that same thing learns and it will go into their education and as a lifelong learning also. So this is my all-time favorite where we talks about the dream is not something you see in sleep, but dream is out doesn't make you sleep. That's one of the best thing I always feel that how we should know. So today morning I was talking to one of our colleague and I was telling what you wanted to do, and she says no, as and when I start earning and start saving, then I will think about it. Then I said I don't think so. When we are going anywhere, we will say okay, wherever the Google map or car will take, we will go. You normally fix the very clearly destination in a Google map. I wanted to, if I'm in a Bangalore, I wanted to go to the MG Road, Taj, or wherever. They will say this is the route it is. And on the time of the route, you will say, okay, traffic is increasing. I'm rerouting it. Instead of 1 hour, I may reach in 1.5 hours. But I have to fix my always take care of my destination. So same thing here. We should know what is a destination. I know the kids when they are young, they may not know what they wanted even till after 12th they may not know, but as a financially we should know how much we can afford and what we should save for them. So this is the video which we say
How do
how
I
to
teach
teach.
my children value for money?
Please let me know if you're able to hear.
We love our children a lot and we want the best for them. But
Yes,
sometimes
ma'am.
we also end up spoiling them by giving in to their demands all the time. I think a starting point for us also is to look at whether some of these demands are unreasonable, and if they are unreasonable, I think we need to tell a no. In that way, they will also in the future learn to hear a no to some of their unreasonable demands. In my book, Honey, I Lost All Our Money, value for money of children has always been a favorite chapter for many of the readers. I think we should look at it a little more innovatively and look for ideas to engage the children and teach them value for money indirectly. Now, one thing that my spouse Rachna does very well is she gives a budget for gifts during their birthdays or even while we travel, there's a budget to spend. That brings in a whole new perspective and they start looking at it, looking at the prices and seeing how do they fit it within their budget. Similarly, we can look at maybe giving them the responsibility of, let's say, managing a monthly budget or even a birthday party so that they learn from it and start being more sensitive to how they use money. I think for us parents it's a very, very important aspect, and it is really important to teach them, engage children even while you make your investments. Can we start engaging with them at an early date, and they will do very well.
How do I teach? How do I best plan for my child's higher education?
For most parents, planning for your child's higher education is one of the highest priority needs. Now, how do you go about it? The first is to be able to assess what is a likely amount of this education for your child. Many times it's too early to be able to even decide on which is likely to be the area that the child is going to pursue, which is fine. Start off with something of an average requirement, and every 2 to 3 years go back and review it, and possibly as you come closer to the requirement you will find that you have more clarity and you will be able to plan much better in the later years. But unless you start early, you will not be able to build up sufficient corpus towards achieving it. Now if you have a few needs, like you want to plan for overseas education or even for medicine, now those can have much higher cost, so you need to plan for a much larger amount. So those are aspects that you will have to keep in mind, and it can have a significant impact on your personal finances. Now, how do you invest into, once you plan and have understood, okay, this is how much you want to plan for? We suggest look at a combination of avenues. If it's a very long-term need, then you can look at equities. You can make money work for you better, so the returns are better towards achieving it. But as you come closer to your requirement, you should actually keep reducing the risk involved so that you are able to achieve it in a much better way and it's not linked to market cycles. So in summary, plan ahead, invest in a diversified way, and also possibly look at whether the need requires an additional life cover, and if it requires, please use an additional life cover.
So I'll just show the Excel. Please let me know if you're able to see. Can you see my Excel? No, ma'am.
Now we can see it.
Yeah. So this is the simple things. I'm going to do it with the different permutation and combinations where you can start thinking of how to do it. So on an average, I always says in India, if we need, it can be engineering, it can be architecture, or it can be design, or it can be anything which we are talking about 4 years graduation after 12th. On an average, you can think of around 20 lakhs. So you have to just think about, even though I can say fees is more than 8% increase, but I have taken at 8%. So your child, you think if it is now 5 years old, of course, when we have a kid, both the kids, I started investing from the second month of their birth. So that's a good thing if you start doing, but if it is not, earlier the best, as Anil was speaking. So I'm saying you can enter any of this Excel, I think so Tara will give it to you. You can just enter anything, let us say your kid is 5 years old, or let us say 4 years old. So this I'm talking about easily on the, when they are 18, because it's after 12 standard, if they go what it will be. So this is means that today they are 20 lakhs if I wanted to give it to the education, or let us say engineering. Today's cost is 20 lakhs. When my kid will be 18 years old, with the 8% of inflation, that amount will be approximately 59, or let us say 60 lakhs. So what I have done it here, I have done a simple mathematical things, which is I have added the inflation. So in Excel, it is called the future value. So future value is a rate. Rate is normally returns, or it can be inflation. So I have taken here inflation. What is NPAR? NPAR is a number of years, how long you want to inflate. So I wanted to inflate, if you see here easily, I am taking care of B11 and B10. So B11 is 18 years when my kid is going to be 18. And B10 is today's current age. So means 14 years I have to make sure that I made this much of money. PMT is of course monthly, so I am not looking. What is present value? So today, if my kid is going to the engineering, it's 20 lakhs. So I have made it around, present value is 20 lakhs. I need almost 59 lakhs. So this amount we need to make for our kid when he is going for a graduation. So if I have to make this amount as, let us say, 58 lakhs, so let us say we can change anything here, whatever you want. You wanted the returns at 12%, you wanted at 14%. So it is so simple. I'm trying to tell you here. It required, this is the value of 58 lakhs future value. If I have a lump sum money of 9 lakhs now, I can easily achieve my kid's education when he or she is going to be 18. So what I have done it's called present value. Same thing, it's called a discounting of present value. Future value is 58 lakhs. I have 14 years. I am taking a return at 14%. So this is coming as my present value. But if I think I don't have any investment done started for the kid, so I have to do either yearly or a monthly. So if I do yearly, I need to do 1.6 lakhs. And 1.6 lakhs if I do yearly for 14 years at the rate of 14%, I will be able to achieve this 59 lakhs. Easiest of all is do monthly investment. And this is what I keep telling people. Do investment for the kid's name in a SIP and keep it till they are 18. You will be surprised to see the power of compounding because that's the biggest, longest time. You can easily take care of it. So this is what we both have done for both our kids. And I was very sure that we will not have a problem when they are going for the education. So same thing you can do it for if kids are going abroad. So you can say like a 2 crores if it is. So if it is 2 crores, it will be quite big. So most of the time when you're doing 2 crores, the rate of inflation should not be so much. You can say 4 or because normally developed country doesn't have so much of inflation. So you can say that 2 crores of today's value, it is becoming 3.5 crore. And then I should do 76K as a monthly part of it. So this calculator you can use for the graduation and masters and international education part of it. You're able to see my screen?
No, ma'am. Yes, now visible.
So this is what I was just trying to say. Superset is a financial planning, and the subset can be tax planning, retirement planning, kids education planning. This can be asset planning, like a make buying the house or a car or a vacation. But today we are focus is talking about the kids education. Even though it is a overall financial planning, we should always do. So when I was coming back today evening for the meeting and I told the same thing, he said I wanted to have your PMS, Rachna, and I said you can do PMS, there's nothing wrong, but PMS is just a vehicle to achieve something. You have to know what you are looking for and why you are looking money. Most of the time, if I don't know that money I'm looking for what and why I'm going to increase, sometimes we always remove the money because we have not associated our goals to that. So try to do that, you'll be able to take care of that. So here we always try to see liquidity is always try to say if in case you want. So this person whom I was speaking with, he said, Rachna, I went for the one seminar and people are talking about AIF. So what is this? So I said, yes, AIF is a little higher version than PMS. You required 1 CR money. And so it's saying, why you are not telling me to do PMS, AIF first you are doing PMS. I said, the reason is, of course, in our office, we give so many times third party PMS, AIF, but I don't give it across because for me, liquidity is more important than anything else. In AIF, you have a closed fund for 6 years. So even if I wanted to redeem, you can't redeem. So liquidity is always should be taken. I have so many stories where people have told me that, Rachna, I don't have a 10 lakhs even though I have 60 crores or 70 crores of property. What we can do? The liquidity is to be taken care. Most of the person comes to me, they will say, I have PPF, PF, LIC, and the real estate. And I ask them total value is 5 7 crore. Can you give me 10 lakhs? They don't have. So in financial planning or anywhere, whenever you are doing, please try to see what is the liquidity. Very, very important. Liquidity means you can sell within a week's time and get that money. And to do that, you have to make sure my whatever 100 rupees kitty I have, 50% should be able to liquidate within a week's time. This is the another trend happening because a lot of time people came and tell that my kids are abroad, Rajna, they will not come and sell the land or a house or something. So I wanted to make everything financial and do it across. So first fundamental is liquidity. Second is a safety. So you normally try to take care of good health cover, good term cover, emergency. Then you will go into the upside where the all goals are. Managing risk return equation is always good. I think so. I was writing today morning. I write every Saturday my learning from the customer, and today morning itself I have written on LinkedIn that how the greed normally takes care of it. So somebody, and this is the another things, lot of scam is happening. Please make sure that you don't get into the greed part. He removed the money which is giving 16% returns, and because they told that you will get a 30% return, and now we are filing the case, we are finding a things that his wife is feeling mentally stressed, they are having the chest pain, anxiety, we have to take to the hospital. So it is more of a health plus mental plus financial. So sometimes I always think, is it a greed is having an issue or it is gullibility, because they are very, very knowledgeable. So please try to understand. Sometimes in a market where top large cap, let us say Nifty or maybe Sensex, the best of the best company is giving you only 14% return in 10 years, 20 years average, why somebody will give it to you 30% returns? Average of Sensex is 14%. So that's what you have to start thinking across. Of course, in the shorter term, even RPM has, everybody has given, market has given 30%, 20%. But you can't have a same average for a longer period. Whenever you're doing investment, look for a longer period, not 1 year and then say, okay, I wanted to do this. That's another trend which people keep asking, in last 1 year, this one gave me this, you didn't give it across. And I always tell, there are thousands and crores of people across outside Right Horizons, which will give it to you. Please go ahead. I normally take a customer where I say, I'm not only taking you, I'm taking your family, your next generation to make sure you achieve your financial goals. And that is very important than looking at the trading or broking kind of mentality. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I don't feel that, because most of the people, whoever I have met, and that's the beauty of this job where you meet so many people, who was a full-time broker. He left the job for 6 years and he came back to me. He said, Rachna, I know most of the people who ever make money, they take only the selected stock they tell. Whenever they have lost, they never tell. And I am being a broker, I'm coming back to you. So you manage the risk. So there's a different way. You decide what is good and then try to invest for it. This is the normal need base. I always says it is everybody is unique. People have a different ways of look at, because structural way, people say first they will buy car, house, children's education very important, then they are taking care of the kids medical, travel, and retirement part of it. So it's called wealth creation and wealth management and wealth preservation. Kids education comes till wealth creation, and that's where we are trying to focus today. So how we should do it on a kid's education? So I was trying to explain in Excel to you. We should know how old is my kid, first of all, where I wanted to go, and by when I should. So I'll say, let us say, of course, now my son is now 17, but if somebody is having a kid, let us say 10 years old. So you can say, my son is 10 years old, so I need 18 in 18 years. I wanted to have, let us say, 50 lakhs. So how I should be able to take care of that? Where you are, so I'll say out of 50 lakhs, I may have a 10 lakhs. So I have to build 40 more lakhs. So when I have to make a 40 more lakhs, I will see how much I can save per month or a bonus or anything, how I'll be able to take care of. This reminds me, one other person says, Rachna, I don't have, neither I can do it, but I have a plot which I don't mind to sell and start using it. So when you are doing this planning, it's not necessary your monthly or yearly plan, and you are not able to do it. There are many more things you can start thinking of and doing part of it. How to get there? This is what we have to see, that you wanted a mutual fund. Some person says, okay, I will sometime redeem. So I normally prefer one insurance which will take care of a fixed, which is waiver of income, which is also, I always say, is good, because if something happens to the proposer or the parents, the way premiums are waived and the money will be given to the kid. So it depends on what you are looking. You can use insurance, but insurance should be only to take care of the risk. But to wealth creation, it should be taken care by mutual funds most of the time. And SIP is the best part. Keep looking across yearly ones that you are on the track or not. So this reminds me, like we have two kids, and one I always is not only for us, for everybody, that they should do the education, graduation in India and the masters in abroad. So son will say that I wanted to go for a graduation for abroad, and I said no, you should do it only in India, and you should be capable of getting a good college admission in masters. And we have planned only for 1.5 crore. If you are able to do it, you do, otherwise get the scholarship. So I am very clear what we have planned and what you can do it, and rest they should be able to manage it. So kids education planning is the same thing what I was trying to explain in the things, that decide the target age. Is it you are looking as the for a master's, or you're looking for a graduation? Because at least normal graduation, which is, I can say, BA, BCom, BBA and all the stuff, it's a similar as the school fees. So most of the time we didn't have a much issues. But if or even engineering or something, you may, so you have to decide what age you want your kid, at 18 or kid at 21 or 22, depending on masters and graduation. Estimate the current cost. It's very easy for all of you now. You can just try to write the Google or Chat GPT or something, or ask your family, friends, or anybody, that they will tell what is an education cost as of today. Calculating the amount at the maturity. This is what I did, a future value. Think about what returns you can generate. On an average, you can think of 12 to 12%. Then make sure that you invest. So most of the people I have seen, they will do all the top four, but executing of investment, they don't do it. Then it is very tough to do it. So very recently, I got a one kid who came and he spoke with me. He was a fresher and trying to come as an intern in our office. And first time I said, he said, no, madam, I wanted to go abroad and I was not able to do. I said, no, you can still go. What is wrong? It's fine. So he says, no, because I don't have a money and I didn't able to get a loan. I said, why you were not able to get the loan? He said, because my parents didn't have the good CIBIL rate. It was a very eye-opening for me. I have never heard somebody coming and telling me like that, but which is a very valid point. So even a kid has to take a good loan. You should be having a good CIBIL report to get it across. So that is another aspect I felt it recently, that we never realize that our own way CIBIL report, if it is not there, we are not able to give the next level education loan for the kid. Few facts about education where most Indians are considering overseas education for their kids are: USA is always on the top level, Singapore is 9%, Australia 11, and UK is 11. Depending on their place, because European people go for more on sports and others, engineering masters and other things. A lot of people go for the US. Even last few days, people have been talking more on a medicine. Also, people go more on the US base. The close look to data about is 2000 user use that 85% of the people who was going on the US had children under 10 years of the age and giving in between 12 to 6. Only 29%. Actually, 2 days or 3 days back, there is another article came. I was just trying to search. I didn't have a time. Where I was going through and saying that 78% of the parents wanted them to be financially okay to send them abroad, but 29% only have a plan and have the money. So that is another thing I wanted to be in 79% or sorry, 29% or 78. So it is always good, and all parents, including me, I'm telling you, everybody wants to give the best to the kids. But are we preparing ourselves best or not? That's a question we have to start thinking ourselves. So what is an execution things when you are looking across for the education for the kids? Very important is nowadays good is there's a lot of consultants, lot of people are there who can do counseling and you know where it is. So recently I was able to, again, this person whom I'm talking has gone for Berkeley, is telling that I have started seeing the senior of the Berkeley, the people in LinkedIn, people in that, to find it out more details and attending what is the best because they are the better who has done only senior and other things. So everything we should know something is good for sports, somebody is good in education, somebody is good in the music. Those things should start coming across from 11th onwards, 11th or 12th, because you need a time to prepare, you need a time to apply, you need to know the cost. On an average, of course, as a parents, you have been saving from that, but you will not know exactly how much you need because a person whom I'm talking, he got it in a admission but didn't have the average money in the saving banks of the parents. So it's a very tough sometimes. So this is the first part when you are trying to do for an education for your kid in abroad. This is the same number I have already told you. So this you can just think this I have written very conservatively, but you can think of today's master is if it is 5 lakhs, what will be the value after 7 years, 5 years, 15 years? Education on abroad. The good thing I wanted to tell you in education and abroad because inflation is not much, but we are facing another things because you have the currency variation. Okay, that is a much more bigger issue when you are trying to take care of the education also. I have done the calculation already. So different ways you have to make sure that how you can invest in an overall level. 1 minute. So what are the different investment option people can have it? I normally do and I have been doing for both the kids was child gift fund. The reason for this for me was because it is lock-in fund. It will give to the kid only when they are 18. And that was my reason. I love this fund. I'm a diehard fan. Any of my person, friends, family ask me for kids where to invest, I'll say child gift fund. But let me tell you the negative of this because some person came back to me. I was not able to convince them because this fund will give money to the kids' bank account. Because when they become 18, they will be major and the money goes to them, even though investment is done through the parents' bank account. So they said if by that time what is their influence, how their friends is, and if they don't give the money because they have to write the check for their education because we are investing this money for their education or a marriage, what will happen? So this is very valid point. I am not denying it because this money goes to the kids, their account. Of course, now recently I have seen and heard that HDFC Child Gift Fund, you can use that redemption option before 18 also if there is an option. Previously is not there, but I normally don't use the option. I say that after 18. This is the another thing. But what happen if I do a regular SIP, for example? If I need a money, I will sometimes take money out from those what I have been saving from the kids name because we have a flexibility to redeem. Why people still feel okay, PF, PPF, or you can say the insurance give more money. If you do XIRR, it may not be good. Insurance normally gives 6. PF, PPF, of course, will give it across 7.1 PPF. But they are giving the lump sum money because you can't redeem it, and that's why we felt it is so good. So same thing on a mutual funds. SIP gives good, but when you have flexibility to remove, people remove it. So please try to see either you do it in a separate and keep it that fund, you will never take it. Otherwise, you should take a child gift funds, which is being in a hybrid fund. You will surprise, hybrid fund means 70% or 65% equity. They are giving 16% returns. Amazing. Why they are able to do that? Because it's a lock-in fund. The fund manager have the full liberty without keeping so much for a liquidity. Another way of doing is insurance, which is taking care of the base, because this doesn't create the wealth, but it is taking care of the uncertainty. You can do a ULIP or a traditional where use the word waiver of premium. If something happens to the proposer or the parents, so insurance will continue till the kids' education time, means they will get when their money on 18th or 19th, but they don't have to pay the premium. PPF Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is linked to the parents, but I am not a very big fan of Sukanya Samriddhi, but a lot of people does it. Why I am not? Because it gives on an average 7%. They can change every year. Third thing is it given when the kids are 21. So if I'm looking at investment for the long term, I better do in equity because at least it's giving me 12 to 14% than a 7% returns. International funds, a lot of people do it if we feel that person is going to stay and study abroad, so you don't have a much on a currency risk. Their investment is another tip I can give you. If you are in an old regime, you can take the interest of the loan and as a parent and you can get the tax benefit.